Hey everyone, it's Dinah, and we are back with Moon Knight, and this is the final episode. It's the final, finale episode, I should say, finale episode because it is the finale. I think it's been, it's been promoted mainly as the season finale, and I think, but some people are still like feeling kind of confident enough to call it like a series finale, as if this is like a one and done kind of thing, like One Division was. But with this one, yeah, I don't know. I think there's not been any kind of like. No, there haven't been any rumors, any kind of any kind of speculations or any theories on whether there could be a season two, or at least like how they can actually continue the story with this. Because I think with One Division, I think obviously that story is going to be continued with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is coming out this week too. So after all this time, that's literally on the on the horizon, and much closer than ever before. So we have that, and then I think with Falcon Winter Soldier, that one is getting a movie. The Captain America 4 is going to be a continuation of that, and then Loki got a season two. So I think if they're going to do a season two, I think that they could very easily do it, like announce it in the same way with this, in the same way they did with Loki. I think with that one, we had a post credit scene that actually showed the stamp of Loki season two and everything, so they could confirm it that way. But yeah, I think so far there's just been no news on how they want to, or if they. I mean, they kind of have to, because I think they literally cannot possibly leave it with what we've gotten so far. So I think they definitely either have to do like an actual like yeah, they definitely either have to do a movie or a season two or something. So yeah, but I think for now this is the season finale. For now this is the season one finale. So yeah, we've come a long way. We've come a long way. I think yeah. I mean, it feels like we've come a long way. I think it feels like despite how short these seasons do tend to be for obvious kind of reasons. I think it definitely still feels like we've seen a fair amount. Maybe not of Moon Knight. I feel like that's the thing. Like this. I mean that's probably going to be like an actual kind of complaint from like a lot of people, like, oh, for a show called Moon Knight we didn't even get to see Moon Knight. I think to be fair, we didn't get to see a whole lot of Moon Knight himself. I think what we got has been a much more introspective and a much more kind of informational look into the histories, and especially last episode, we've had the kind of kind of background look and the background kind of check on the kind of individual kind of identities living within Mark Spector, like his, and then mainly actually his and Stephen Grant's too. I think Jake is another one that people know of, and people are kind of waiting to see Jake Lockley. But then he hasn't even been revealed yet. He was teased. He's been teased the last few episodes. But I think other than that, they haven't really actually kind of gone so far as to reveal him. So then he's, if they do season two, then actually more Moon Knight, and then also actually bringing in Jake Lockley, and actually kind of cementing him as a third, or as potentially just like another identity. I think those are the main three. I really don't know if there are any other identities that might be more minute, or more minor or something in terms of appearance, or like prominent within the kind of comic kind of canon or something. But to my knowledge, those are the three mains. So we got Mark, and then Steven, and then Jake. So yeah, and then I think then like each different kind of identity gets its own kind of Moon Knight kind of thing too. I think Jake is the one who originally had Mr. Knight. I don't know if Steven had one. I mean Steven too. I think his one in the comics is even so much more different too. Like he's a millionaire in the comics, like a millionaire or a billionaire or something. So this one he's very different. But I think this one he had Mr. Knight, and then of course Mark is the one who actually is Moon Knight and everything. So we had that. But yeah, it's been a hell of a season. So I think I for one, I mean, I'll leave all my kind of main thoughts at the end for the actual official kind of review at the end and everything. But for the most part, I've definitely enjoyed it, as with pretty much all the kind of series that have come before it on Disney Plus and everything. So it's been fun. It's been very fun. And yeah, I think with this one, I think with this one they have no choice but to leave some open ends, because I think that there's no way they can actually answer all the possible questions in this one, or actually even wrap up everything with this, because then I think that's definitely gonna feel like a really rushed ending. And I think the best way to actually flesh things out, obviously, is to actually leave some open ends that could be answered in a movie, or an actual additional season. So who knows where they might go? But but yeah, I think last episode we had Mark and Steven going down a very stressful and very emotional. I fucking bawled. If you saw my reaction, you would know I bawled. There were tears. I had no tissues. It was a mess. It was there was certainly a journey, for us as viewers and for them as characters too. I think we had Mark and Steven going down a very stressful, very emotional journey down memory lane for Mark too, finding out like seeing Mark's childhood, seeing how he lost his brother Randall in the caves, and then how from then on his mother abused him endlessly for it, and then that kind of led him down that very traumatic journey of actually developing towards developing DID and actually splitting into alters and everything, and then he creates Steven and all that kind of stuff, and then Steven finds out that he was actually made up by Mark to deal with trauma and abuse and everything, so that was the thing. So we kind of saw, like, I think we saw pretty much the extent of that. Like we saw how it kind of worsened and how like how much deeper and how much more kind of traumatizing it got over the years as the years went on, and how he eventually left home, and then he couldn't even kind of bring himself to come back for her shiver and everything. And yeah, I think one detail I actually didn't fully catch on to was that was actually 2 months before the show, like before the story officially started in episode 1 too. I think Mark mentioned that her shiver was actually 2 months ago, and that's when their lives started bleeding into each other, and that's when like the kind of blacking out and the kind of switching between the alters actually happened more prominently and everything, and then that was actually 2 months before the before the events of episode 1. So it actually wasn't that far back. I was thinking it might have been years or something, but no, it was actually just 2 months. So it was a lot closer than we thought. So yeah, and then I think that made it even more emotional too. Like for 2 months, pretty much. Thingy. And I think not only that, but I think Steven also. I think like that shot of him calling his mother on the street kind of showed that he actually wasn't even calling anyone. He was literally just on the home screen of his phone. So he was like then just like he was either. I mean, he likely was actually thinking he was leaving a voicemail for her or something, but. Yeah, because in episode 1 we see that he's actually leaving voicemails for her and actually hoping that she kind of finds them or something. So yeah, but no, I think the only person to have any kind of healthy communication with his mother is Steven, and that's because Mark kind of gave him those good times, those good memories, and he gave him that kind of perspective and that kind of semblance of like a healthy relationship with her. So. Yeah, so I think I'm really curious as to how kind of Jake fits into all this thing. I've actually seen a comic panel that kind of gives off a glimpse of Jake as his own. I don't know what it's called. I think in the one I saw, Jake actually wasn't dressed as Moon Knight or even Mr. Knight. I think he was in something else like that with like a half mask and what looked like a cape and everything. But in that one, he talked about how how he was all the worst things about Mark kind of fused into one kind of identity. So he like that. That's why he's the most violent one. I kind of did have the theory in the review for the last episode that Jake might just be the one who's actually just furious at the world, furious at his mother, furious at his father, like furious at everyone and everything around him. So after like rage and actual emotional kind of release kind of built up from all those years is finally being vented through Jake, and that's why Jake is actually seen as so violent, because then he's actively angry at everything. So yes, I think it's going to be kind of curious to actually meet him and see what he's like in this and stuff like that. So yeah, that'll be interesting. So here we had that kind of stuff, and we had Mark and Steven being in the psych ward manifestation in their mind and everything, because I think they were dead too. I think actually it wasn't even in their mind. It was actually in the afterlife. It was in the Duat, the Egyptian afterlife and everything, and they met Taweret, the Egyptian goddess of women, and I think of women and children. So. She was the one guiding them through the afterlife, and actually kind of taking them along as the scales tried to balance their hearts out, and it didn't work and everything. And then in the very end, we lost Steven. Steven gave his life. He gave his life. He thought, if Mark can handle it, then that means that he can handle it too. So he went up against the sand kind of ghost zombie people, and he got tipped over the edge, and then he froze in the duo. He literally froze in the sand, and everything was turned to like a statue, and then. And then that took his heart out of the mix, and then that meant that the scales finally balanced Mark's heart with the feather. So that meant that Steven froze in the Duat, but then Mark actually made it through to the field of reeds. He made it through to paradise and everything. So I mean, just further extent that he's actually dead. So now they have to find a way to actually bring him back. But I think that could be where Taweret comes in, because I think she's also kind of like somewhat meant to be the goddess of rebirth and rejuvenation and all that kind of stuff. So maybe he strikes a deal. Maybe he does something else, but either way, I think we got to get Moon Knight back. We got to get Moon Knight back. We got to get Mark and Steven and everyone back, and everything. So I mean, maybe then like bringing him back, like bringing back both identities within the same body is also what brings back Jake too. Maybe that's what brings Jake to, because I think we saw in the afterlife, in the actual room that Jake was in, he was still trapped in his own sarcophagus. So maybe actually bringing back a life that complex, that kind of fragile too, but like more or less that complex actually is what actually breaks out more alters and everything. Or at least in this case, like the one additional altar, so then maybe that might be what kind of opens the door for Jake in their minds. So maybe we'll see. We will see. I think I'm hoping we at least get like an actual glimpse of him, and maybe it's like his sarcophagus opening and him coming out, or maybe it's actually like him just being like a lurker in Mark's mind for now before he actually makes a surprise appearance. But I think I mean, other than that, I think I guess we can just wait and see what happens. So yeah, it was a tense episode. It was a very, very tense episode. So yeah, on to the finale, the season finale of Moon Knight Season 1. So yeah, without further ado, let's go.
Marc Spector, Stephen Grant,
Jake Lockley.
might be in there.
Yeah, who else? Yeah, Jake Lockley. Yeah. So do we get to see her perspective now? Like while the stuff was going on down there, she was up here kicking ass and taking names. Please tell me that's what Layla was doing. Whoa, the cane. Oh, it's an axe. It's like a really narrow stormbreaker. So I mean, Mark gets Khonshu's ceremonial robes and everything, and like the healing armor. So does Arthur get some actual? Is he gonna transform into a lizard or something? Or get a crocodile head, become an Army's avatar. Oh, their souls. Just sucking out their souls. Oh, jeez. Or is he judging them? Is he judging them like in like a really extra way now?
This is the face of a good
Oh,
man.
this is someone worthy of our meats. Yeah, okay. So is this when he was actually sending people down to the Duat then? Because you saw all the people being thrust down.
He is going to need Khonshu. Break his Ushabti.
Ushabti, that was it, the Ushabti, yeah.
And you can be my avatar.
Don't tell me he can massacre the gods. Don't tell me Harrow of all people, even with the power of Army, can actually massacre the gods.
This is all so avoidable.
Oh, seriously? Oh my god, are you really serious? Are you sincere about that? He killed the gods? He massacred the gods? Really? Oh boy. Our meat. Crocodile lady. Whoa. There we go. Release Khonshu. There he is. Bird boy.
We must rebind Amit. Only an avatar can do it.
Oh gosh, it took an avatar and the other gods to do it the first time round. It took her avatar. Her avatar had the power. But then it was her avatar too, so I think would that power work in reverse?
Quiet.
The peace you've always wanted but never had.
Yeah, so many voices inside his
Manifest
head.
it.
Yeah. Oh.
No, he's gone. Mark, the Duat has him.
No.
Please, enjoy your
I will not
peace.
accept that fate. I will not accept that fate, no.
No, I'm not good with that.
No, he needs his Stevie. He needs his Stevie, yeah. Paradise without Steven is hell. That's the same hell. Oh, damn, it disappears just like that. Disappears just like that. Wow, okay. Okay, make sure you don't get frozen in the sand too, okay? That's the last thing we need. Both of you stuck in the sand.
Way back then, we were so young.
Oh, gosh.
You saved me.
Don't make me cry again, please. Don't make me cry
I
again.
survived because I knew I wasn't alone. And although that field back there was looking pretty good, there's no way now I'm gonna abandon you.
Oh, gosh. Oh.
You are the only real superpower I ever had. Well, I did a whole little speech there. It's not little. You had to-
It wasn't.
Oh, look, the gates are open.
Oh, jeez. Oh, Khonshu versus our meat. Oh, whoa. Oh, yeah, super. Does he have super speed? Or does he just shift? Is he like shifting? Towerette! 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 Oh, Osiris. Oh, he opened the gates. Yeah, Osiris opened. Hippo goddess to the rescue. Oh, is he Moon Knight again? Is he suiting up as Moon Knight again? Oh, okay. Oh, Moon Knight again, yes. Oh, the suit's back.
Mark Spector, I need your help.
Just curious about something. How's this whole new arrangement going to work?
Okay.
Grant, I was not speaking to you.
Yeah,
Mr. Knight's back too.
Decom is like a package deal now, so you are going to have to deal with me.
Oh, he's going to have so much fun with these two. Yeah.
You should answer my question though. How's this deal going to work?
So can they switch between at will now? Or can they switch between?
I will release you both. You have my word.
Okay.
I like the sound of that. Good. Glad we got that all sorted
Great.
out.
So one last mission, the final mission.
You forget, little.
I think you can take this one, Mark.
Hurry up, idiots!
Okay. Oh, that's okay. It's an off-camera, off-screen change. Whoa, that was a cool jump. Okay. So the Moon Knight is back. Mark and Steven are both back.
We need to imprison Thomas in a mortal form.
A mortal form.
A body instead of a statue.
A body like a human body.
Vulnerable.
Whoa. Oh.
Changed your mind. I would be delighted to accept you as my avatar.
My father?
Yes, I met him when I took him to the field of reeds.
Oh, her father's in the field of reeds. That's so sweet. Okay, he made it to paradise. Oh God, is he gonna judge a city full of people? Oh no! Whoa! She's in beginning. She's enlarging. Oh, she looks good. She looks good. This is Towerette's armor, Towerette's suit. Oh, she looks good. She looks good. God, the new avatar of Towerette looks good. She has like a whole bladed wing thing, a bladed wing set. Oh, Moon Knight versus Harrow, and Khonshu versus Amit. Oh gosh, can it be a tag team? Moon Knight and Avatar, Ted Towerette's avatar versus them. Oh, they're switching between the two as well. They're switching between the two.
I only punish those who have chosen evil.
So do I. Only I don't give them the satisfaction of committing it.
Oh, that's a good line. That's a good exchange. Come on, Mark. Oh, okay, come on, Layla. Come on, Layla. Come on, Layla. Oh, there she is. Layla. Hell yeah, that's your wife. Ooh, oh god, and she's got the deflecting. Oh god, I love this. I love everything about this. I love everything about this, yeah. Husband and wife, just a Egyptian avatar superhero couple. Yeah.
You look amazing. What are you wearing?
Oh, now Steven's here. God. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay, let's go. Let's go. Oh, yeah. Oh, the sticks, the batons. Oh, Steven's got moves. Yeah, he's floating like a butterfly and stinging like a bee. Oh. Oh, damn. Oh, that was good. Oh god, you got him. You got this. You guys have got this. Yeah, you two got this. Well, 3 technically. Oh, oh jeez. Oh. Oh yeah. Just still takes time to flap the suit off. No! 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 Oh! Oh! Okay. Oh. Okay, oh yeah, yeah, Layla saving lives. Layla saving lives. Egyptian superhero. Ah, that's great, yeah. Still don't have a name for her though, but still, yeah. Oh, Jesus. I'm loving how quickly she actually picked the new suit and everything up. Yeah.
Young Randall's life would have been saved. Your family would have been happy. You need only remove one weed
Mark,
from the
oh
garden.
you demented fucker. Oh no! Oh god, no, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. Oh. Oh, Jesus. Oh. Jake, that had to be Jake. That had to be Jake. Yeah.
That wasn't you, was it, Stephen?
Jake.
Not a chance, mate.
Not a chance. That's Jake. Jake coming out and doing some crazy shit. Oh god, they look so good. They look so good. So like, they're gonna kill Harrow after this, right? To make sure that there's no way Amit can ever be re-released or anything.
We cannot take the chance that Amit finds a way out. She will kill again.
Oh, you sound just like her.
Oh yeah. So you have to be preventing her from doing evil by taking her out here and now.
You want them dead? Do it yourself.
Do it yourself, yeah. You want another god dead, you kill her yourself. So is he gonna lose the moonlight powers now? Is he gonna lose the moonlight stuff now? I guess so. I guess so, yeah.
Well, it is tempting to accept your diagnosis, Doc.
Oh,
We'd rather go save the world.
that wasn't Mark, was it? That accent was different.
Latest gators.
Latest gators, oh. That wasn't Mark, was that accent was different. That accent was more kind of New Yorky almost. Yeah, like a cab driver.
Can't believe it worked.
Oh, and I got two fish. Okay, got two fish now. Oh, that's the end of it. Okay, okay, huh. Okay. I'm gonna leave it running as I always do. Because now this is the finale. I'm willing to bet there might just be like a post credit or like a mid credit or something. Probably a mid credit most likely, but yeah. But damn, that was a fun finale. I liked that. I know it's gonna be like this season as a whole. I feel like it's gonna leave people kind of divisive and everything, but I enjoyed it. So yeah.
Tranquila, señorita, tranquila.
Oh, is this Jake? Is this Jake? Wait, so is Arthur in like an actual real life kind of psychiatric institute now? Is that Jake? Taken away? I see a cap. That's Jake. I saw like the blurry cap. Yeah, gloves, a jacket. Whoa, he killed everyone. Oh, he killed everyone. Oh gosh. Oh, that's a fancy cab. What's this? A limousine? It's a limousine. Yeah. Can't you? Oh damn.
You can't hurt us.
When he has no idea how troubled
He wants Jake. He wants Jake.
Meet my friend, Jake Lockley.
Oh shit. Same face, different man.
Hoy te toca perder.
Oh. Oh man. Oh damn. Spectre. Oh. Oh. Boy, he wants Jake. He wants Jake. So yeah, I think that was a pretty solid finale. I feel like that, it wrapped things up nicely, and I think it definitely, I think it definitely felt like an actual kind of conclusion and everything to the story that this first season has spent 6 episodes now telling and everything. So I felt like it was pretty good. I think it felt dramatic, and it felt kind of like an actual kind of like a lead up towards all the kind of stuff it was gonna do. I think what I think it would have been better, like still have last episode but have it in a different place. I feel like what would have been cooler, because I feel like having Amit released in only like halfway through this episode, I think we should have had the Amit around for like an entire episode. I feel like we should have had Amit around. I think to further justify Arthur's kind of dedication to her and her kind of presence and her kind of like her impact on the kind of whole kind of justice system, and her kind of like to see her kind of like fully like to actually further flesh out and further solidify exactly why and like how much Arthur believes in her and her form of justice. I feel like we should have seen her like for the entire episode, and it should have happened more. So I feel like if we'd had last episode's events like still happening but then taking place earlier in the season maybe, and then having like a different episode, like maybe have like the whole kind of have everything leading up to Marc coming back and Layla suiting up as Towerette's avatar, happening in like a separate episode, and then the release of Amit. I think so. Then the entire final battle. I think maybe like the entire final fight, and like a few of the stuff, like a few of the events leading up to that should have been this final episode. So then Towerette's resurrection, and so like Tauret's resurrection, Mark's resurrection, and him becoming Moon Knight again, and then even Tauret's, no, I think Meat's resurrection and Mark's resurrection, and him becoming Moon Knight again, and even Layla accepting her place as Tauret's avatar too. I think that should have been an ending to the episode before this. So I think that stuff should have been the last episode, and then maybe before that have the kind of actual episode 5 take place, and then this entire last episode should have been seeing Army actually kind of delivering devastating kind of pre like premonitional, I think is that word, premonitional, kind of just like doing her thing, essentially, like doing her thing of actually judging people before their time and actually kind of scanning ahead and delivering judgment, like she's doing that stuff for like an entire episode. Because I think we saw her doing a bit of it. I think we saw her absorbing the souls. I think she was absorbing the souls of all the people who were actually deemed unworthy of seeing the future and everything, and then because that she actually grew bigger, and that whole thing of Khonshu and Army, that was the thing. But we could have actually had all that stuff going on, so like Arthur versus Stephen, Mark and Layla, that was the whole thing, so I mean that should have been longer too, and then Khonshu and Army actually kind of fighting and everything for like this one episode too. I feel like it could have been better to see, because I think I feel like we also like really didn't really get Army for that long too. I feel like they like, I think they literally did kind of take her out of the picture too quickly. And I think I understand it, because I think what they wanted to do was actually show off like how how big of a threat she is, and how urgent it is that they stop her. But then having her on for like just one episode could have still, I feel like that could have gotten the job done a lot more kind of like a lot more fluently than it did with this. I think with this one we quite literally got her for like the last kind of like for what felt like the last half hour of the episode, and then that was it. So I think they stopped her like as soon as they wanted to, and as soon as they could and everything. But then I feel like actually seeing her delivering some kind of actual impact, actually delivering her doing what she does so fluently, and actually kind of seeing maybe even seeing Arthur kind of rejoicing in her being able to do her thing could have been that much better too. So I think maybe if they structured the episodes like a little bit differently that way, could have been better. But yeah, I think regardless, I think what we got, I'm still I'm still satisfied with what we got, and I'm still really happy about what we got, and I think what we got was just amazingness from start to finish and everything. That was just a whopper of an episode, an absolute whopper. So yeah, we had Mark saving Stephen from the Duat. I think he left paradise behind. That was the most beautiful thing I've seen too. And I think even him admitting, like, what that, I mean, that field of race back there was a pretty good looking thing. It was a pretty special really thing. But then for him, like even with the temptation of paradise, even with the temptation of eternal peace, I think that being that, I think even Tower, like him saying like, oh wow, it's so quiet, and then her saying like, then Tower telling him like, oh, this is your manifestation, like this quietude and this solace and this peace. This is your paradise. And I think it's like it kind of makes sense. Like after years and years of so many voices in his head and so many other noises and everything, it's just like finally for him, like a paradise thing for him, kind of, it in a sense it does make sense that like for him it's actually finally like some quiet, like some space to actually listen and think would be his paradise. But then even for him, I think the more he thinks about that, the more he thinks about the reason for that noise, and the reason is Stephen. And Stephen, like he said, has saved his life on so many occasions, and Stephen actually did end up saving his life too. So I think him giving up paradise because Stephen isn't there. I think if Stephen was there, because he even said like a paradise without Stephen just doesn't feel right. Because like if anything, Stephen would be the reason that he enters paradise, and Stephen has earned just as much of a right to visit paradise as he has to, doing all the things that he's done to actually help Mark and everything. So I think Mark just can't handle paradise or any kind of eternity in any situation without Stephen. So Mark and Stephen just I feel like this episode alone too actually did kind of, this episode and last episode working in kind of unison did actually work to kind of cement some kind of like a brotherhood between them. I think because I don't know if it can be right or accurate to call them brothers. I think maybe saying that there's a brotherhood between them could be somewhat more suitable. But I think actually saying they're brothers kind of might feel kind of weird, because they are like they are essentially the same person, but not even to the extent that they're like twins or anything like that. I think that would probably be weird to say, but Mark and Stephen are essentially kind of two kind of different versions of like a very, very similar person and everything. And I think Stephen was created to kind of help keep Mark safe and to keep him at bay and everything. So, and he's done that for years on end. He's done that. So yeah, to see him actually leaving Paradise behind, and even as he runs away, Paradise just disappears too, because then he's actively leaving behind, so he watches it as it kind of fades away, and he's returned to the dark sands of the Duat and everything, and then he actually finds Stephen too. He finds Stephen almost half buried in sand and everything, and then he goes over to him, and he has like a whole speech planned and prepared and everything, so he delivers a speech, and he's like, you are the only you are the only real superpower that I've ever had, and then he is the only real superpower and the best superpower that he's ever had. So like having Steven on his side and within him, and actually having him by his side anytime he's kind of like actually gone through all that kind of suffering and everything. That is, like Steven kept him alive. Steven kept him whole, and kept him afloat and everything in those dark times. So damn, that moment too. And I think again, this episode too, Oscar Isaac, just nailing it to the floor with the performances in this episode too, and actually bringing Mark and Steven to life in so much more of like a fluid, like in so much more of like a fluid way in this one too. So yeah, that scene was beautiful, and then Osiris, of course, opening up the gates and actually letting Mark and Steven through so they can actually reunite with Khonshu and everything. So that was the whole thing. But yeah, that scene alone was just those two identities fusing together, becoming one again, becoming whole, and actually supporting each other, literally supporting each other, actually carrying each other through the sand and to the gates of Osiris and being one again. So yeah, I mean, they come a long way. They've come a long way from being so separate and distrustful and antagonizing towards each other to now literally just kind of being two peas in a pod and everything. So so yeah, seeing that kind of dynamic kind of flourish and thrive has been so good to see. So that's been really fun. And I think Towerette also did kind of make a point to say that, like, if he leaves now, he can never make it back. So I am trusting that meant that if he got stuck out in the Duat, then that meant that he couldn't actually kind of come back into the Field of Reeds, because then he's actively choosing to leave Paradise behind, so then that means he'll be stuck with God. So I mean, I'm trusting that's what it meant, and not like, oh, if you die again after being brought back to life, then you won't be able to come back to the Field of Reeds, because then you rejected it the first time, so now you can never come back here again. So I'm not entirely sure if because I'm kind of guessing things might be different now. Like maybe if they do die, like whenever they do die again, and then they're forced to go through all that kind of stuff again, I'm trusting that maybe then they'll have like an easier time balancing the scales, because then now, like this episode actually kind of went to the lengths of actually showing them in such great harmony, such great coexistence with each other, and actually such great kind of like such great kind of duality with each other too. So I think because of that, I feel like the next time they die, like it should be like an easier process, actually balancing their hearts together against the feather, and actually balancing and actually kind of showing them both the Field of Reeds and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I guess we'll see. And then yeah, of course we had Harrow releasing Armeet too. Harrow summoned more people, more disciples, more judges and everything, and then they stormed the Chamber of the Gods. They stormed the Chamber of the Gods. I think that alone was like an impressive feat. But then the fact that with the cane powered by Armeet and her kind of power and everything, I guess that much makes sense. But still, I think the idea, I think of course that like he wasn't fighting the gods directly. He was not fighting the gods. He was fighting their avatars, and those are still human bodies, like a human body versus other human bodies, albeit powered by the gods themselves. But I think even the avatars, I think so far, we've seen like Marc is the only one who actually gets like a healing armor and robes from Khonshu's temple and everything, and then even Layla got like some fucking cool armor from being the avatar of Towerette. But I think the other gods, I mean, either they don't have it or we just didn't see it. But I think even then it's like they still like make their avatars keep their mortal human clothes and everything, and like they get the powers, but then they don't get any special suits or any special kind of armor or anything like that. So it kind of makes you wonder like exactly like what the kind of gods are putting their avatars through that would make them fall so easily. So yeah, but either way, I think Harrow slaughtered all the avatars and everything, so that happened. The avatars again, R.I.P. to them, but then the gods, they had it coming. I mean, would the gods die? Are the gods actually dead? I don't know. I was gonna say like Marc died, but then Khonshu didn't. But then to be fair, I think Khonshu was already in his idol by the time Marc died. So then, does killing the Avatar actually take out the gods too? Because I never really imagined. I mean, I never really imagined that the gods themselves actually fully possess their avatars. I think even with Khonshu, I feel like he imbued his power through Mark. Like he gave him the robes and the healing armor and the powers and the strength and all that kind of stuff. But then I think he was like a voice in his head and like a possibly like potentially like a visual manifestation too. But I never imagined that Khonshu would actually be present inside of Mark in that way. So I think I can't like imagine like the gods actually, because I think that would be like an even more risky move too, like the gods actually leaving their kind of celestial plane of existence to actually fully inhabit the bodies of their avatars. I think I always thought like their voice and their power was being passed through the actual avatars, and then I can't tell. I can't fully tell if that means that they're the god. I don't really think that the gods themselves are dead, because well no, because then that would then change the ending too. I think because then the plan was that you kill our meat by putting her in like a human avatar, in like a mortal form, in like a in an avatar. So then if that can work, then that means that the gods are dead. So okay, so I guess they are dead then. But well, yeah, again, hey, they had it coming. They refused to believe from the beginning, and then that literally cost them their lives and their avatars' lives. So yeah, RIP to the avatars, and the gods, they should have known better. They should have listened from the beginning, and then maybe, just maybe, they might still be alive. So yeah. But I feel like we can very much talk about Layla. We can very, very much talk about Layla. I am more than happy to talk about Layla in this. She was an icon in this. She was iconic in this. I loved her. I loved the direction they took her in. I love what they gave her. I love how she utilized it. I loved it. And I think I think she initially rejected Khonshu's thing too. I think and I think it must be like a breath of fresh air for Mark. Like he was so afraid of him being taken out of the picture, and then Khonshu moving straight on to Layla and everything. Even then, despite the ending of Khonshu being like, oh, Mark thought I wanted his wife as my next avatar, but then he had no idea how broken he truly was, and then he wanted Jake after that. But then still, I felt to some extent it must have still been some kind of like a breath of fresh air. Knowing that his wife didn't immediately kind of say yes, or even because I think he knew he wouldn't say yeah, he knew she wouldn't say yes, but then I feel like maybe he thought Khonshu might do something, but no, he kind of offered, and he kind of asked her, and then she said no, because then she saw the effect it had on Mark and the toll it took on Mark and everything, and what it did to Mark. So then she refused to trust him and everything. So she wanted to help defeat Arthur and Army, but then without actually giving her kind of life and body and everything over to Khonshu. So yeah, But then what she does do, yeah, I think I said that out loud and it just sounded like the weirdest sentence ever, the weirdest phrase ever. What she does do instead is calls upon, I think Tauret somehow found a way to actually pass her voice into the living world too. I mean, she can only talk to the corpses. I think Tauret, being the goddess of rebirth and stuff, being the goddess of like women, children, I think fertility too, and also now rebirth and rejuvenation. She can talk, but only through corpses. She can only talk through corpses. That's why the first time at the actual road, the pit stop and everything, or whatever it was, she talked through the body of the dead soldier and everything, and then afterwards she talked through the body of of Osiris' dead avatar and everything. So yeah, she can only talk through dead bodies. And I think even in that temple, she was so loud in the chamber of the gods. She was so loud enough to alert Arthur to her existence and her presence and everything. So yeah, but she spoke to Tauret, and then I didn't even know that Tauret was that kind of a goddess where she could actually have like an avatar. Because I don't know why. I think after hearing about what our meat is like, and then but then also actually kind of see it. But after seeing what Khonshu's avatar, because I think Khonshu's avatar, I don't know if it's just Khonshu that chooses to go that far, or if maybe only Khonshu can go that far. But then I think Khonshu, obviously his avatar, he chooses them to be his Moon Knight, the protector of the Travelers of the Night. So I don't know if they're if that's something that only he can do, or if only he will do, if only he will actually go that far with his avatar to give them that many powers and that kind of extent of invincibility and everything, or if the other gods can actually kind of go that far with their avatars, because then the other avatars actually got the powers and stuff, but then they didn't really get any kind of suit or armor or anything like that. So Khonshu clearly can, I think Khonshu actively wants his avatar to be able to use those gifts and actually transform the world in that way. So maybe, I don't know, maybe he's the one kind of willing to go that far. So yeah, But yeah, but then apparently Towerette kind of can grant her Towerette gets an avatar. Not only that, but then she can also grant that as I said avatar with it's the same kind of armor, the same suit of armor, and the same kind of and like actual kind of wings and everything too, like actual bladed wings and everything. So that was the coolest. So she can glide and she can she can glide on them and she can actually use them to block and deflect stuff, and then even use them to slash and dice and all sorts of things. I love Layla. I love Layla. Mark and Steven are not alone in that regard. I love Layla too. I would lay down my life for her. She is amazing. She utilized, I feel like look, I feel like some people are gonna have problems with Layla not only being an avatar of Towerette, but then also actually utilizing that suit so quickly. And I think just to whatever, I loved it. I thought it made sense to me. I think at this point it's also it's also somewhat kind of tiring of having to see. I mean, with Stephen, I think it was a bit of an exception because I think he's a pacifist too. I think with Layla, I think she is a fighter. I think she's maybe not obviously I think Layla obviously was never like a mercenary like Mark, but I think Layla definitely still had the capability and the ability to actually fight back and actually to still, because she killed the fucking mummy in two episodes ago. She literally killed a mummy. She literally fought back against the mummy, used a flare, jabbed it in the face and died. So I think she's a fighter. She's not like an actual she was never like an actual merc or a killer or like a soldier or anything like that, but then she was still definitely capable of defending herself and actually fighting back and doing all that stuff. So then you give her extra powers, she will definitely utilize the crap out of that. It's called utilizing potential and actually utilizing every resource in your freaking belt. So I think, for me, seeing her fight in that upgraded suit with her upgraded powers and her abilities and everything, just cinema. That was cinema. That was art. That was amazing. So to me, made perfect sense that she would at least try and pick up the new kind of suit and the new gadgets and the new skills as quickly as she could and as best as she could and everything. Because then, if you get something like that, then why you wouldn't try and pick it up as soon as you can? Because even Steven did. Even Steven actually did eventually fight back. Steven had some trouble to begin with, but then eventually he actually did actually use his punch. Like he threw like a hell of a punch against the Jackal, but then still got knocked out. So I think he had like an actual kind of trial and error kind of process before he actually picked it up. But even Steven in this, oh my god, that fucking trio, Mark and Steven and Layla against Taro, just like them, like even like the actual switching between Mark and Steven, that kind of stuff like that. Oh my god, I think the fluidity of that too, kind of on the one hand, kind of shows Oscar Isaac's kind of impeccable technique with this actually switching between two alters and actually kind of switching between them so fluidly. But then also, more personally and within the fiction of the character too, it shows just how much more in tune and in sync and at peace Mark and Steven are with each other, that they can actually come out and go in like without fighting, without actually kind of losing control. They can actually come out at will and actually choose who gets to speak first and everything. So it's like, Mark is 1 minute, even when Mark first came back to life as Moon Knight and everything, he actually got the thing, and then they start talking to Conjure as well. I think even then they go from actual Mark talking to him as Moon Knight, then transforming into Steven talking to him as Mr. Knight. So I think even then, I think that was the first hint at their fluidity and their newfound kind of duality with each other and everything. So I think seeing that, I think in and out of the suit, even in person, even as Mark and Steven, they both kind of switch in and out of different alters and identities and everything, and then they can easily switch between the two. So seeing that kind of peace and that kind of level of kind of agreement and unity between the two of them was just so good to see. It was so fucking beautiful to see that they're both finally at peace and they both finally accept each other and they both finally kind of are happy with each other and happy together. They can both equally get equal kind of time within the body and actually kind of in control of the body and everything. So and I think even worked with combat, even worked so fluidly with combat. Like I said, Mr. Knight and Moon Knight both getting equal hits in, equal doing everything. Steven as Mr. Knight in this was just with the batons, like finally using the batons and everything, actually using them. Seriously, that fight scene, just wow. I think the moment they stepped on screen, the moment Layla came in and actually saved Mark and actually kind of came in with her suit, and then Mark actually suited up as Moon Knight again, I knew that triple team, of Mr. Knight and Moon Knight and whatever the hell Layla is. I don't know if we actually have like a name for her. I think the Scarab was what kind of somewhat led her to Towerette again. So that I think maybe like some kind of like scarab kind of hero or scarab kind of thing going on. But I think I'm gonna probably like gonna have to look into that and see what that's all about. But either way, she became like an Egyptian superhero of her own right too, and I think she even saved that girl. She even saved that girl and actually confirmed to her that she is finally like a hero that she can look up to and everything too. So that was a really, really cool scene. Just everything about that fight scene, from the action to the drama to the dialogue, just everything. I loved it from start to finish. It's just so great to watch. It's such a great watch. So yeah. And I think it actually might be more. I think it might be more scaled after the scarab too, because I think even like the actual armor was gold and got like gold plating too, and even the wings too, because I think even the scarab literally floats in midair and even has wings. So I think her actual suit maybe because I think it still kind of counts as her being the avatar of Towerette, perhaps because then I think maybe just maybe. But then I think maybe her actual powers and her kind of suit are actually modeled after the scarab. So I'm not sure. I don't know. Maybe if the scarab might have some kind of connection to it. I mean, maybe if the scarab is simply like a connection to the god. So maybe you can then choose. Maybe if you can then choose which god, because then once because Arthur had the scarab in order to find Armit's tomb. Since she was goddess, but then once he found her. Ushabti, once he found Army's Ushabti, he no longer had need for the scarab, so then he left that behind with Marc. So then maybe I'm thinking the scarab might then not have actually had any specific connection to Armit in that kind of definitive way, but then I think the scarab itself might just kind of serve as an actual connection to whichever god you want to look for and to whichever god you want to choose. So then because of that, maybe then Layla was able to use the scarab to then search after Towerette, because then she'd actually contacted her too. She actually kind of talked to her beforehand. So then maybe then the scarab allowed her to connect to Towerette, and then maybe through that scarab, maybe Towerette actually kind of passed her powers passed her kind of power and stuff onto Layla, and then actually, but then with the scarab being the actual kind of conduit between them, the scarab's kind of golden plated armor and the wings and everything were what she got. So then it worked out in her favor. It worked out fully in her favor. She got like an awesome new kind of armor kind of piece, and then she got the bladed wings too. So yeah, it definitely worked. It definitely fucking worked. She looks so good. She looks so good. But I think I absolutely kind of love how Layla's kind of journey in this season has been so far too, and I think it's also definitely why I think we definitely kind of can do with like a season 2 after this as well, to actually explore more of Layla being this new kind of avatar, because I think Layla definitely kind of went from being so lost as to who and what and where Marc was and everything, to now becoming to now becoming the avatar of an Egyptian goddess herself, and actually using those powers for good, and actually being able to find that kind of like a new place within this kind of story. So I mean, not to say that I think not to say that she definitely kind of had to become a to become a superhero, although she couldn't possibly remain human without being kind of relevant or anything. But I think because even then, like I think for like a huge focus of the story has been on Marc too. Marc is incredibly human without being Moon Knight and everything, but then that kind of story has been about the complexity of his own identities and his own trauma and everything. So because I think because that like his story has been very unique to him, but then I think Layla now has found her place within it too. So I think maybe then going forward too, I think maybe then actually kind of find like if there is any further truth to find out about her father, then maybe season 2 can explore that, and then maybe actually kind of having her kind of fully exploring where she stands on this whole kind of humans and like on this whole kind of gods and human avatars thing. Because before all this, I think the only thing she'd already heard about it before all this was that was that Khonshu was actually kind of considering making her his avatar after being done with Marc. And that was all she really knew about it. But now she actively now she actively chose to become Towerette's new avatar and everything. So it would be fun to see her more exploring more of that and exploring more of how she feels about that. Because I think with this episode, I think she I think maybe she also might feel like she got kind of not lucky, but I think she also kind of feels very fortunate and isn't really taking being Towerette's avatar for granted either. I think she knew that she could really use those kind of tools and those powers against Arthur and army, but then just didn't really want to specifically kind of submit herself to Khonshu either, with good reason. So maybe if in season 2 she actually gets a chance to explore more of who Taweret is, and more of her place as Taweret's avatar too, maybe that can give her like a more solidified stance on this whole kind of avatars and gods kind of business and everything. So I guess we'll see. But I think from the moment they introduced her, I've really found her character I've really found her character interesting and enjoyable, and have loved seeing how they've incorporated her into this. So yeah, I think especially because she also isn't like a really she's also like a character more original to this than she is to the comics. I think in the comics, I think she kind of is like more kind of based off of two other characters that are pretty integral to Mark's stories. I think they kind of adapted those to be part of the MCU too. So going to be fun actually kind of getting my hands on those comics eventually and seeing where a bit more of her kind of canon history comes from, and seeing how different she might be compared to those other two characters and everything. So yeah, but I think Layla in this has been fun. May Calamari, just hands up in the air for May Calamari. She has been nothing but astonishing in the role of Layla from start to finish. She's been nothing but really enjoyable and really great to watch and everything. So, and I think seeing her and Marc together too, together as like an actual couple in this kind of business too, has been really fun, and seeing how they've kind of developed. I think seeing more of their history would be good. I think seeing more of their history. I think I really want to see more of their history of like how much time they spent together as kind of like archaeologists and mercenary and everything, and actually seeing what their dynamic was like before all this stuff happened and everything. So I think maybe actually getting more history and actually seeing where they came from in season 2 might be a really good place to pick up from. So yeah. And like more of their history actually leading up to them becoming like a married couple, and actually seeing how like a married life worked out for them before all of this stuff happened and everything would be cool. And actually seeing, because I think I can only kind of assume, like I was saying, based on like what he's had. I think because then I think maybe Marc was in control for the majority of it until his mother died. Because then I think maybe then, once he got news of his mother dying, that's when Stephen came back. I feel like that's because I feel like especially since Layla had no idea who Stephen was before. I feel like then when Marc met Layla, and then once they got married, I think for that entire period of their lives and his life, I feel like for then Stephen was dormant, and I think he never really kind of felt the need to actually phase back into Stephen again, or to actually kind of bring Stephen out, like from and Stephen kind of then felt kind of less space and less way to actually kind of come out and everything. So because of that, and I think also because their lives never really meshed together before that either. So then I think their kind of memories of each other were that much more blank and everything. So I think because of that, I think it would be kind of interesting to see what what Marc's life without Stephen or without need to become Stephen would have been like with Layla instead. That then eventually kind of leads into kind of Stephen coming out because of Marc's mother's kind of death and her shiva and everything. So then yeah, I think seeing that kind of history between them would be cool too. So yeah. And yeah, I mean, I'm really hoping Layla can actually kind of keep on being this. I think I see no reason for her to stop being the avatar of Taweret or anything, because I feel like even after this, I think because like the whole point of Moon Knight is to be like a protector of the Child of the Night. I think this whole army thing was just like an emergency thing he had to deal with because of what Harrow was doing with the Scarab and with the army's kind of potential to be resurrected and everything. So I think he was just the newest villain to come along and actually cause a ruckus in this kind of on this big of a scale. But I think other than that, I think from even like from what we've seen in the afterlife with the room full of dead people, I think obviously like Moon Knight is generally speaking just a protector of the night. So then there's no reason for Marc to really kind of stop being Moon. Apart from the ending that we saw, there's no reason for Marc to officially stop being Moon Knight or anything. So then because of that, I think so. Then I wonder, I think Layla not only has Layla not said no to Taweret or even asked her to release her, but I think Layla also really has no reason to ask her, because Taweret is unarguably more like reasonable and easier to deal with than Khonshu is. So then because of that, her powers would literally be nothing but a gift and a blessing. Like the ability to actually help people as the avatar of Taweret would be something that Layla could very, very easily do and everything. So, and she even actually saved a family and like a teenage girl from potential disaster and everything as the Avatar. So I feel like, being Tauret's Avatar might be, again, might be the thing that actually opens her eyes up to actually being the Avatar and actually kind of having these gifts and powers and everything. So seeing her kind of expand upon that in the second season, actually kind of being more of that kind of a hero would be cool too. And actually just seeing that kind of pairing between them of like Moon Knight and Mr. Knight, and whatever her name is, whatever her kind of whatever her superhero name might be, as Tauret's Avatar as well, will be cool to see. So yeah. And then, yeah, I think there was the moment of Mark absolutely refusing to kill Thingy 2. I was worried in that kind of case, because I thought Jake was going to come through and it was going to already be done. But then, no, it didn't. Mark had the option to actually kill or leave and everything. And for a split second, it felt like a Telltale game. I'm not going to lie, for a split second, it felt like a Telltale game. I was like half waiting for the crosshairs to show up where you could actually choose to kill or leave or something, and then it'd be like, Conchu will remember this or something. But no, no, I think so. Yeah, no, so I think that he had the option to actually kill Harrow, but then, but then I think even Layla being there, I think even the way Khonshu eyed Layla, I was like, like inside he's thinking, this bitch is the one controlling him and actually like telling him what to do and convincing him not to do what I tell him to do and everything. So I felt like deep down Khonshu was trying to keep Mark in line by threatening to take things. Because even then, like, the ending said, in the end he said, oh, Mark spent his entire life thinking, that I wanted his wife to be my avatar, but no, he just had no idea how broken he truly was. So then, I feel like Khonshu actually telling Mark that he was going to take Layla if he gave up was his way of keeping him in line, because then he knew that if Mark gave him up, then he would have no other avatar. So then he tried to keep him in line by saying, oh, if you leave me, then I'll just take your wife. So then, yeah, but then no, I think deep down he knows that, and especially in this episode, Layla kind of so outwardly and so bluntly rejecting him too, kind of showed him, like, Layla could never be an avatar of the Moon Knight and everything, because she actively doesn't want that mantle. But then even Layla herself actually trying to convince Mark to go against Khonshu's kind of wording and his kind of orders and everything. But then like not only doing that, but then actually succeeding, and actually Mark himself being like, you want to kill you want to kill our meat, then go ahead, do it yourself. Take the crescent dart and kill and do it yourself. So. Yeah, so in the end he opted not to kill. He opted not to kill Harrow. But then even Khonshu's kind of line of thinking too, like, like if we don't kill him here and now, we're just leaving our meat to do some kind of evil in the future. So then if we kill him now, it will prevent evil from happening in the future, which is exactly what our meat's line of thinking is. And even Mark actually spotting that out too, like, oh, now you sound just like our meat now too, actually cutting off the evil of the source and preventing it from ever growing and everything. So. Yeah, so then he kind of spotted that happening, so then he opted to simply to trap him. So then I think maybe that's what Mark did too. I think maybe that's actually what Mark opted to do, instead, like him or Steven, or probably most likely Mark actually kind of opted to kind of have Harrow checked into a psychiatric institute instead, which didn't last very long. As we saw, it didn't really last very long. So then maybe actually keeping him trapped somewhere that they knew where he was, and he couldn't fully harm anybody. I don't think, but maybe keeping him there might have been the best option for them at the time. So yeah. And then we had time to talk about Jake. So yeah, we had our first official look at Jake Lockley in this episode. So yeah, and I think he speaks Spanish too. I didn't know that. I didn't know he spoke Spanish. I mean, he could be multilingual for all we know. I think he could speak Spanish among a myriad of other stuff, including English. I think from the panels I've seen, he speaks English and pretty fluently too. So there's that. And I think if it's true, I think people said even in the last episode. I think in the last episode there was a scene where he kind of potentially showed up where he had like an actual bandage around his nose and there was blood on his face and everything, so that could have been Jake. And also because in that scene apparently he actually had like a different accent too. I think the accent was what I actually noticed in this one for like a few seconds too, so I think I wondered if he actually showed up there too. I think with him being a cab driver too, I think, not to be too kind of stereotypical, but I think with him being a cab driver, I feel like him, like he would kind of have that kind of New Yorky cabby kind of accent as well to him. So I think Mark has like a regular enough kind of American accent to him. Steven has that kind of typical British accent to him, and then Jake has the kind of typical cabbie accent to him. So maybe, just maybe, but no, this one, yeah, I think in this one, too, I think it's also kind of nicer to see like how different kind of references to Jake and his existence are actually sprinkled in throughout here and there throughout the season 2. I think nearing up to the end, it's kind of sprinkled in more and more. Like we literally see that kind of sarcophagus thing being the most explicit thing until the actual reveal. But I think even then, I think before killing him, I think before trying to kill him too, I think even Harrow being like, you know, Mark Spector, Stephen Grant, whoever else is in there, as well, like that kind of dialogue being like a really close kind of hint to his existence. Was really well placed, so there was that too. So then, yeah, I think up and to the reveal too. It's like, of course, just like a mid-credit scene. A mid-credit scene actually showing off Jake Lockley. So yeah, I think one thing that got me thinking, right, was me thinking, like, you know, like, has he been killing from the start? Because the way he killed in this was exactly the same as the way he's been killing throughout the rest of the season. Pretty much the rest of the season, like the way he killed in this, like, because then Mark literally like blacks out like with the actual kind of up close kind of framing and the actual blipping in and out, and then coming to, but then actually coming to a massacre as well. Like, I think that was meant to be the Jake Lockley reveal in this episode, and even in like 2 episodes before this as well. So, but then it happened in episode 1 too. In episode 1, when he was in that village, I think that blackout thing was the exact same thing, and he literally, and then Stephen literally came to a massacre around him as well. Like in that, even in that one, he actually came to massacre, and we've seen Mark. I mean, Mark does kill, but then he doesn't kill brutally. I think I think even like, so even I think, because I think with Mark, he knows how to fight non-lethally. Like he knows how to fight non-lethally, as well. In like I think in like the 3rd or 4th episode, I think he actually he kind of like he like, instead of actually punching the kid's neck, he went for like a slap instead. So I think he knows, and I think for him, he actively chose to fight in that scene non-lethally too. So then with that one, he just went for like a few quick kind of simple strikes and everything. But then with Harrow's men, he actively chose to kill them and everything, because that was the only result. But then with Jake, I feel like Jake will fuck you up no matter what you are. Like, Jake will actively fuck you up no matter who or what you are. So I feel like with that, you know, Jake could have, because of that, Jake could have very easily been killing from the beginning, and also because maybe because his because even then, like Mark said what got him discharged from the military was literally, did I write it down? I think he described it as like going violent in a fugue state. I think going AWOL in a fugue state. So then fugue state to me sounds like blacking out, and going AWOL then obviously just going on like a rampage. So then if that's accurate, then we've essentially seen him going AWOL in fugue states. You know, that is when he literally blacks out, has no memory of what happened, but then he just comes to the aftermath, and then the aftermath is like a literal bloody mess. So then, to me, that feels like Jake's been killing from the beginning, but just without Stephen or Mark even actually knowing. Because then it wasn't even until the beginning of the series that Mark and Stephen's lives actually ended up blending into each other too. So then it wasn't until then that they actually started to become like more and more aware of each other's presence in their own bodies and in their own minds and lives and everything. So because of that, it feels very likely that Jake might even be able to actually get in and do something himself. So I don't know, maybe it looks and operates and feels so similar to how Jake is meant to operate too. So I think to me, it only makes sense that he actually might be able to get like his kind of foot in the door from episode 1, but without it making much of a difference. So I think, or even maybe with like without even making it feel different to how Mark does it too. So I don't know, because I think even when even if it was Mark killing in the beginning, it was still like somewhat of like an actual massacre. So it would just, I feel like that would just as easily match up to what Jake is capable of, just as much as what Mark is capable of too. So I don't know, but either way, if that is true, then that is one hell of like an actual kind of build up to Jake's kind of thing being here. But I think if Jake, I think maybe if they're building Jake up to be someone who's actually bigger and more dangerous too, then maybe that might mean that the next season almost entirely focuses on him and actually bringing him to life, and actually kind of incorporating him into the whole Moonlight thing too. So Moon Knight thing too. So I guess we'll see. So yeah, then that mid-credit scene kind of showed us that that, you know, Khonshu was at least from now onwards, I think, or maybe even from the beginning, because I think maybe that's why Khonshu never said anything either. I think maybe because he actually liked how Jake operated him, because I think Jake was the one, doing what he actually asked and doing what he liked and everything. So I think again, like Jake, I think based on the comic panel I saw, that like they were fighting someone who was actually like a villain or like a criminal or something. So I think with Jake, he's not like, he's violent, but he's not like evil. He's not evil or manipulative or like a deadly in like a way that harms people. Like he is like, again, he's the worst, the angriest and worst parts of Mark fused into like a whole other identity and everything. Like he's the one who's angry and he lashes out at criminals and actual other bad people. So then he then would be the best person to be Khonshu's avatar, who's like maybe like, but then you'd have to question, like, then knowing Khonshu, he'd then also probably be manipulating Jake too, because then Jake also, I think, because like with Steven is essentially a pacifist. Like he doesn't fight until now. He's been a pacifist, so there's that. But then he, like, I think, like, like mentally, like Mark and Steven really just don't want to have to be clung to Khonshu anymore. Like they don't want to be bound to him any more than than what they've already been through. But then with Jake, I think Jake has that kind of untethered kind of affliction for violence and vengeance that I think Khonshu craves a bit more. So I think because of that, he's the more ideal candidate to be to be some kind of new Moon Knight and everything. So so there's that. But then he literally introduced Jake Lockley as his new friend to Arthur and everything, and then Arthur's now dead. So he literally pulled out like a silenced pistol. I'm really surprised. No, I think that there was like a person pushing another person in a wheelchair, like actually walking by the limo. But then there were definitely, even if it was a silenced pistol, there were definitely flashes. I think flashes can probably still happen even with an actual silencer. So I'm surprised no one really saw the flashes coming from the car and decided to run away, or maybe they thought they were taking pictures or something. So that could be a possibility. But yeah, no. Now Harrow is dead. Now Jake Lockley killed Arthur Harrow. So. Yeah, and he even said, like, now it's your time to lose. Now it's your turn to lose. So now he officially kind of cut off Harrow and Army's connection to the real world. So, yeah, just a lifetime in the do-up for that dude. A lifetime in the do-up for him. So, yeah. So, yeah, now with Jake in the picture too, I'm kind of curious as to how things are going to go between, Mark and Steven now. I think Jake, because again, that was the same body in different clothes and doing different voice and popping a cap and everything. So Jake Lockley is the third alter. He is the third alter within that kind of same kind of body that Mark and Steven share too. So it's going. And I think that they're now aware of it too, because I think even then when Mark came to, he literally said, like, Steven, that wasn't you, was it? And then Steven faced in and said, nope, not me, not a chance in hell. So they now know that there is actually someone else within them. So I think now season 2 could definitely be the season where they actually kind of actively look for that third person within them and actually find out who that is, and then maybe they find out how Khonshu has instead chosen to latch himself onto Jake, and then they have to find a way to actually. And then there's also another comic panel I've seen. There's another great comic panel I've seen that shows all three alters separating themselves from Khonshu. It's like, like, my name is Mark Spector, my name is Stephen Grant, my name is Jake Lockley, and it's like, like, we are Moon Knight and we no longer need you, and they literally, all three of them just crush Khonshu's skull to pieces. I think they then probably, somehow managed to keep the whole Moon Knight mantle and everything, but then they actively kind of actually reject Khonshu's attachment and latching onto any of their three alters. So wondering how that, again, that's the only panel I've seen. I haven't seen what leads up to that or even what happens after that, so I think I completely have that panel mostly out of context. I think, not sure if that's them giving up the powers or if that's just them giving up Khonshu and actually rejecting him from their lives or something. But either way, I am curious to see if they actually kind of lead up to that too, because then again, I think Khonshu, again, he is he did essentially kind of gain access to Mark's body and his mind through manipulation, actually seeing what he was capable of, and seeing what he was capable of, but then also seeing how easy it would be to actually kind of goad his way into Mark's mind too. And now it could very easily be seen as he's taking advantage of Jake's kind of inhibition and his adherence to violence and all that kind of stuff, and using him for him too. So I guess we'll see. I guess that would be a side of Khonshu worth exploring in season 2 as well. Actually seeing how righteous Khonshu really is, and how like how far he's willing to go, and actually what he's done in the past to secure his avatars, and how what kind of lies he's told them, and how far he's been willing to go to secure avatars each time. So Yeah, and maybe even what's made previous avatars different to Mark too. Unless Mark is the first avatar he's had, actually seeing what kind of difference could be between Mark and the previous avatars too. So yeah, I think that kind of stuff. Jake, Khonshu, and his manipulation, and Jake and his violent tendencies and his kind of aggressive personality, and more of Layla plays as the avatar of Taweret. Would be worth exploring, and I think also more Egyptian stuff. I think potentially more Egyptian stuff. Like more kind of history between the gods and more history among the gods could be cool to see too. Like more history between Khonshu and the gods too. And everything like that, and also. I think I've seen I've seen and read different reviews of people kind of calling for more Jewish representation with Mark too, like Mark being like an inherently kind of Jewish kind of character, and his Judaism and his history with the religion being pretty integral to the character in the comics too. So then maybe actually incorporating more of that side. I mean, we saw like a bit of it in the last episode too. I think we saw that them having the Shiva, which is the Jewish funeral and everything, and him kind of wearing the cap too. I think it's called the kippah. Don't know if I'm actually pronouncing that right, if there's any kind of other kind of tone to use, but him actually kind of wearing the cap in that scene where he actually kind of stood outside the house and everything. So I think actually maybe even like actually incorporating more of his religion and more of his kind of connection to, and actually exploring what more history he has within actually kind of like any kind of modern day or present day rather present day kind of connection he has to that religion, and seeing where that leads him would be good too. So yeah, just all the more stuff we can explore in a season 2. So yeah. But yeah, so far those are all my initial thoughts. I'm sure I might have missed out on something. I'm sure I'm either forgetting to mention something, or maybe I've just kind of got starting to get like a headache from thinking about this stuff a lot and everything. And it's just just been such a long day as well. So I think this is like the final thing one of the last things I'm getting done today before I go on to edit a bunch of stuff. So yeah, but for now, I think all my initial thoughts out of the way. Loved Layla, absolutely loved. Just want to put that out there. Just want to put that out there again. Just want to reiterate it. I loved Layla. Love her new suit. Really cannot wait to see her being like a hopefully continued kind of avatar of Taweret in season 2, or like whatever continuation of the story we get. Can't wait to see more of Mark and Steven working in harmony, and even them actually working to discover who Jake is, and Jake actually introducing himself and becoming like like his own kind of alter within this kind of trio of identities and everything. So seeing more of Khonshu, and seeing how Khonshu sticks around and how he kind of continues to grant powers to Mark and Steven, like if they do kind of actually become Moon Knight again, because again I think with them being released, I'm not really sure if that means that they've actually fully lost. I mean, because then the robes were literally taken away, the robes were literally unfazed out from above them. So if the healing robes are taken away, then I can imagine the powers taken away too. So like a continuation of that with Mark and Steven actually kind of maybe rediscovering the powers or whatever would be cool to see. So that's fun. And yeah, just seeing more of Khonshu too, and actually seeing more of like what he's capable of, and how far he goes to actually bring Mark and Steven back, or maybe even how far he goes to actually kind of get Jake under his wing and everything. So a lot of stuff they can do, but for the most part, I've loved this show. I think so far Moon Knight and WandaVision have been my 2 favorite kind of Disney Plus shows from within the MCU. I think What If comes in behind a close third. I think Falcon and Soldier, I liked it, but I feel like there was maybe more they could have done in that instance. But so far, I think I've kind of I've definitely been able to enjoy each kind of show for what it has and for what it is and for what they were and everything. But I think if I had to actually narrow it down to at least 2 favorites, then WandaVision and Moon Knight would be my kind of 2 picks, and then maybe What If like a close kind of third. So, or like a close second. I think for me, like tied between the 2 is Moon Knight and WandaVision. So yeah, I've loved this show for what it is. I really cannot wait to see where they go with this, whether it's a second season or a movie. I mean, I think I'd probably prefer a second season, but I think I also really like I really want Marvel to consider actually kind of extending their season 2. I think 6 episodes really seems really short, because I think I can definitely understand them wanting to do like an actual concise and concrete kind of story and not throwing in random filler crap or anything. But I think potentially actually kind of actually upping it to like 10 episodes at least wouldn't be the worst thing, because I think if they do too few episodes, it's like I feel like that just really doesn't give them enough room to explore more that they definitely could, and actually bring more into the story. I think actually kind of limiting themselves to such a small number, I feel like actually kind of forces them to really cut like so much more out and actually leave so much more out that could really help the story. So I feel like maybe going forward, I'm hoping probably not going to happen with like Ms. Marvel or anything, but I think actually going forward, I'm hoping that, you know, that they're actually going to consider actually upping the episode number to at least like 10, maybe. Like 10 would be an absolutely kind of really fitting kind of number for like kind of the season as well. So maybe I guess we'll kind of see going forward if they actually do change their mind, or if they actually do kind of stick with this number. But either way, I've still managed to enjoy this season and this show for what it has been. So I look forward to seeing where they can take it from here. So yeah, that is my initial reaction and review for Marvel's Moon Knight. So thank you for being here with me, for hopefully enjoying the show with me too, and actually hope and actually enjoying this story and enjoying the introduction of Moon Knight to the MCU. So yeah, I think maybe going forward now too, I think maybe now season 2 they can definitely kind of work on integrating Moon Knight into the MCU with actual characters and references, and actually connecting it to the larger MCU and actually doing that kind of stuff. So maybe, just maybe, I think I'm actually somewhat, because I think even Shang-Chi managed to connect in some way, but I think with this one there's been little Easter eggs that I've seen like after watching the episode, like the GRC stuff being in the background and other kind of little tidbits and everything. But I think actually having like some kind of connection going forward now would probably kind of work in their favor. So who knows what we can get? Who knows? But yeah, that's pretty much it. So yeah, that was Marvel's Moon Knight Season 1, Episode 6. So thank you guys, as always, so much for being here and for watching this video. If you guys enjoyed it, then feel free to leave a like and comment what you thought of the episode and what you think of the series and the story and how you felt about it and what you hope to see going forward and everything. For those interested, full-length reaction over on Patreon, so you can go check that over there. And yeah, that is pretty much it. So until the next time, bye bye for now.